Yo, D-Gens. What's going on, guys? What's up? What's up? All right. Let's get right into some chart action, shall we? How my little D-Gens doing today? You guys hear me okay? Everything's good? Microphone checker? It's all good in the hood? Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat. Still testing out this new microphone, so I need you guys to make sure that you can. I need to make sure you guys can hear me. Perfect. Good. You can hear me? We all good in the hood? All right. So, yes. Perfect. Okay, guys. Look at JASMY. Check it out, guys. So we wicked down. We had a nice candle close above the 200-day SMA. And now we wicked back below it. Now we're sitting right on top of it again because Bitcoin had a bit of a pullback, and then boop, we beep booped right back up over the 200-day SMA, which is fantastic for further continuation to the upside, guys. If we go over to the Bitcoin, let's have a look at what's going on. $88,700 or $800. Look at that. Look at that. We had a little bit of a sell-off there if you saw, but look how fast, guys. I don't think that this daily candle is going to finish red. I think we're going to stay green. I think we're going to pump again tonight. The reason I think that is because if you see this wick, this long wick to the bottom, you know what that means? That means that a lot of selling pressure came in right here, and it came down, and then it got bought up like that. It got bought up so fast, which means people are buying it at this level really, really quickly, right? That's what that wick means. So I think this is going to keep going, guys. I think we're going to break 90K tonight. I think we are going to, right? So we're going to stay on top of it. There's a lot of buying pressure right now, so we'll see what happens. But let's go look at the crypto bubbles. What's going on across the market? Look at Bitcoin up 9.3%. 30% is a massive pump, guys. 30.6% in a week on a market cap the size of Bitcoin is a massive move. Massive, right? We all know that you like it big. So that's what she said. So, yes, having a fantastic time. JASMY up 1.9%. Somebody said to me today, well, why isn't JASMY moving? JASMY is up 41.6% on the week. You must have lost your damn mind if you think the JASMY's not moving. Look at this. It was 1 cent 657 at the beginning of the week, or, not calendar week, but you get it. It's up to 2 cents 346 now, guys. The volume is up massively, 279.88 million in volume, 1.44 billion in market cap. Absolutely fantastic, guys. Absolutely fantastic. As we look at Crow, Crow is up, guys, 70.5%. Look at Crow on the week, 202%. Shout out to John 316. He's always here, and he's always talking about Crow Army. Congratulations, brother, on your 202% jump on Crow. Amazing, guys. Amazing. AIOZ up 24%. Render 23%. Doge is having itself a grand old time. Guys, I'll tell you right now, Proppy down 13.9% is a fantastic opportunity, man. Fantastic opportunity. I wouldn't sleep on it. All right. So as I always say, guys, listen, if you have, I'm not ignoring the chat. I get to the chat questions the second half of the live stream. Okay. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, boom, 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 throw it in the chat. I will get to the chat later. If you have an altcoin or something you want me to have a look at, maybe give you a little price prediction on it, throw it into a super chat in the chat and I will get to it. All right. Let's get into the news. Let's burn through some of the data. We got a lot to talk about tonight, guys. We got a lot to talk about. Also, guys, real quick, there is a link in the chat to the Patreon. Get your butts over to the Patreon. The Real Crypto News says NVIDIA's focus on AI and blockchain. NVIDIA has been heavily involved in the development of AI and blockchain technologies. their GPUs are widely used for blockchain mining and AI-driven computations, making them a natural fit for a partnership that involved large-scale data processing and IoT applications, which are JASMY's focus. NVIDIA has also announced collaborations with Japan to advance AI infrastructure, indicating their interest in building the technological backbone for future smart cities and industries. So the CEO of NVIDIA has been incredibly active in Japan, networking with influential figures from Sony to Panasonic and even engaging with government leaders. You seriously think he hasn't seen what JASMY's capable of or spoken with the CEO? Guys, I have alluded to this for about 8 months now, that I foresee some sort of partnership or collaboration at some point between NVIDIA and JASMY. It just makes sense. NVIDIA, the manufacturer for the world's largest manufacturer for GPUs globally, and JASMY Junction building the world's largest GPU cloud. It just fits, right? You're going to look back one day and you're going to say, damn, why is Rob always right about everything? I got to get me some of that right? But according to my wife, I'm always wrong. So it's funny how that works. Anyway, moving on. What else do we got? From our friend Neo-san, he says, apply, dear Japanese friends. I know that in Japan, Vitsco Ltd is recruiting developers to work on tomorrow's IoT security technology in partnerships with JASMY. Within the Future Society Creation Collaborative Labs, the role mainly involves developing mobile applications, servers, and AI algorithms in entertainment services. They are looking to hire guys, expanding, building out a bigger team very, very bigly. Moving on. What else do we have? Watcher Guru says Bitcoin surpassed silver to become the 8th largest asset in the world. Yes, you did hear me right, guys. Bitcoin has officially passed silver in market cap. This is not a test. This is happening right in front of you. And I told you this was going to be happening for 2 years now, right? What else do we got? Total spot Bitcoin ETF volume has surpassed $6.9 billion today. I am not kidding you. I know your mind is blown, just like this dude, right? That's you right now. I just blew your mind. Rocker with the shocker. It's all good in the hood. Total cryptocurrency market cap has officially surpassed $3 trillion. Write that down. Moving on. What else do we got? Tesla. Tesla now owns $1 billion in Bitcoin. You heard that right as well. Do you see the adoption taking place? Do you see it right in front of you? I keep telling you. Bitcoin is up 21% since Donald Trump was elected, won the election. That, my friends, is what you call a Trump pump. All right, what else do we got? Cryptos are us. If Bitcoin continues to mimic the 2023 fractal, we should see a $100,000 Bitcoin by early December. If Bitcoin continues to rip like it has been today, we could see 100K even sooner. I believe we're going to hit 90K tonight. Will we see 100K Bitcoin by the end of November? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat. All right, so what is going on over on Fox? The Trump effect. Check out the Trump effect, guys. Since Trump was elected, listen up.
We begin with a look at what some are calling the Trump effect. Yeah, it's already happening. It appears to be unfolding in the wake of his landslide victory in just 6 days out.
You got to pump it
within
up.
72 hours, that short little window of becoming president-elect, look at all that's happened. Trump appointed the first female White House chief of staff in U.S. history, the Party of Women. And here's a live look at the Dow as it hits a new record high, along with the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. That's right, economic gains. And then the latest migrant caravan that was heading towards our border shrunk by half. Reuters is specifically citing Trump as the reason many of these migrants turned around. New York City announced it would stop giving free debit cards to migrants. That happened too. And yet, looking abroad, Hamas says it wants an immediate end to its war with Israel. How about that for timing? And Trump has already spoken to Ukrainian President Zelensky, and Russia says it's ready to talk with the president-elect about the war.
Ain't that some
The
shit?
European Union, meanwhile, is considering replacing Russian oil with oil exported from right here in the USA. And listen to this, the Taliban wants to start a, quote, new chapter with the U.S. Maybe they remember when Trump called their leader, sent him a satellite picture of his home, and said, I will annihilate you unless you protect American troops abroad. Maybe they remember that. And even China announced its hopes for a peaceful coexistence with the U.S. So much for invading Taiwan. I thought that was coming. All that in 72 hours, and Trump will still be president-elect for another 70 days. Look, Harris, it really is remarkable what not even being president will do. Reuters said this, and this is a Wire publication. A caravan of thousands of migrants traveling through Mexico with the hopes of reaching the U.S. had shrunk to about half its original size as many migrants grapple with their prospects following Trump's victory.
Well, considering that so many of them have to go through Mexico, I think Mexico is doing some grappling with tariffs. Yeah. I mean, that's what this president has done before, and that's what he's willing to do again, and that's to put pressure on Mexico. So I think there are a lot of people rethinking south of the border right now. I mean, if you're a caravan and you're driven by all the things that the cartels, all the lies that the cartels are telling you, now America has sent the message that, yeah, believe our votes before you believe the cartel. I do want to just read right now Bloomberg's one of their headlines. With Trump win boosting stocks, investors are hunting for next winners. I don't know if you caught, Cheryl Casoni was like cheering over there in terms of what the what Wall and Broad are doing right now on Wall Street. Because there is this effect that you were talking about on people thinking, okay, prosperity for America, we could see it.
No doubt about it. Look, Tom Homan, of course, is now the new border czar. Remember, that's the title that Kamala said, I don't want to be border czar. Well, Tom Homan will be it. And here's what Tom Homan said on 60 Minutes.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
I mean, talk about a mic drop, Carly Shimkus. And what price do you put on the heads of American women like Jocelyn Ngari and Rachel Morin, whose names we have covered on this show?
No doubt. And, you know, there's no administration is perfect, right? And there will be unforeseen challenges over the next 4 years. But I think that the thing that Donald Trump said on the campaign trail that probably resonated with undecided voters the most is that the Republican Party is the party of common sense. You bring up female voters. I think that Wall Street Journal called it the sleeper issue of 2024, transgender women in women's sports. That was a big one when it comes to common sense. Also, the border issue. I just think back to how the Biden administration started with DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. One of the first things that he says is that you can't deport an illegal immigrant just for being here illegally. You have to have either committed a crime or be suspected of terrorism. So that's not common sense, that's politics, and it clearly backfired. Also, issues of safety that repeatedly came up when it comes to Jocelyn Ngari or other women who unfortunately lost their lives due to the border issue. All of those things resonate, and you hear Tom Homan say, who's now the border czar, and leaning into that role, saying you can't put a price on safety. So yeah, that's really important. And these people, I think that the fact that this caravan has already been cut down in half. It's like a campaign ad that Donald Trump doesn't even need. He might even have to do a rally, even though he's not doing any more of them, just to tell people that that's the case.
Jeremy, one of my favorite hobbies is watching left-wing hosts flabbergasted when they learn facts. Truth bombs blow up their storyline. So let's watch Caitlin Collins as she's stunned by what Chad Wolf tells her.
Are you saying that there are violent criminals who are just around and that they are not being deported knowingly, even though ICE knows that they are here in this country?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think if you look at the enforcement priorities of the Biden administration under DHS at this time, you have to be a serious felon to be removed from the country and have that be a priority. Not just a felon, but a serious felon. And so I personally disagree with that. I think if you're any felon, you should probably be removed. Again, you're here illegally, you commit a felony, you've been convicted of it, you should be removed again. And so there are certain things that you need to look at. And it's not just as easy as saying, well, all criminals are being removed, because we know they're not. Their own data says that that's not the case.
I mean, did she miss the police officers attacked in Times Square, the young girl that was raped in Central Park? Did she just miss all that?
I mean, they choose not to see it. I mean, I think that's part of the story, that they don't even hardly report on some of these things that we've been talking about for a long time. But I think what we're seeing now, it's only been, like a week since the election, and I think our enemies across the globe are taking note. I mean, the 4-year honeymoon period is over. This 4-year period under the Biden-Harris administration of this, enabling them, appeasing them, it's over. And I think that now we're seeing even President Xi, releasing a statement of China, President Putin calling President Trump already. I mean, we're seeing a lot. Qatar has now kicked out Hamas out of their country, which was good. I mean, we're seeing now the results of what happens when you have strength back in the White House. And he's not even back in the White House yet, which is the best part of it all, is that already the world is responding. And I think the eyes of the world are on the United States right now. I mean, it is, and this is how it should be, American leadership. I mean, America, we set the tone for the rest of the world. They don't set the tone for us. And I think that's what we're seeing already with President Trump's election this last week.
Cheryl, I wanted to save this for you. I mean, it is amazing. Peace through strength is something that adversaries remember, to your point, Jeremy. I mean, she clearly remembers it as he's toning down his rhetoric. The Taliban remembers it. They're toning down their rhetoric. And then you have the EU, U.S. oil purchases potentially. Economically, this is a huge boom.
It's going to be a job creator in this country. We're talking tens of thousands of jobs that could be created in the energy patch in this nation, good, high-paying jobs. One of the things that Biden did that really hurt our domestic energy production was he restricted LNG exports. That hurt Europe. Where did they have to turn? They had to turn to Russia. They don't have to do that now. They can come back and they can look to us to help them out, and that will be good for us. I mean, it's Pennsylvania and other parts of the country. What happens with Keystone? The Keystone Pipeline, guys. Are we going to go back to that? We could. Are we going to go back to more fracking, more drilling on our land? Yes. As for the markets, and that's why I was doing a little happy dance with Harris earlier, is because you're going to have any gains today for any of the NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P is another record. And the dollar is strong today.
Yeah.
That's the world telling you that they believe that the dollar is the currency of the world, and everybody else that's been yapping their lips about, we're going to use other denominations, you can all just sit down now, because that trade is over.
Yeah.
Well, this all happened in 6 days. I wonder what the next 6 days will hold in the next 4 years. Wow.
Amazing. Amazing. All right, what else do we got going on out there? Check this out, guys. Biggest single candle in a day for Bitcoin ever. This year, you are sitting in history right now. And of course, this is going to start happening, guys. So all you new people who've never been to through a bull run before, look at this. Ledger support. All Ledger went down and people can't sell anything. Transactions are gone down. You're going to start seeing this with Coinbase, with Binance, with all the major centralized exchanges. It happens every time, right? You're going to start to see them. So as soon as everything starts pumping, everything's going crazy. That's another reason, guys, that you want to jump over to the Patreon, because you got to learn how to set your sell orders where there's liquidity. You have to. I'm telling you right now, these exchanges, they're going to start shutting down on you when things are pumping, and you're sitting there going, "I'm going to take some profits right now." Boom, Coinbase, technical difficulties. Binance, technical difficulties. KuCoin, technical difficulties. Can't sell anything. And then when the prices start to come back down, we're up and running again, right? That's, for me, says that these exchanges are not solvent, right? But I digress. Get over to the Patreon and learn how to set an exit strategy in place, guys. The link is literally in the chat. So get over there, because this is going to continue to happen, and you're going to get frustrated if you're new to crypto and you don't know what to do. This is going to drive you nuts, right? So join our community. All right, what do we got? Make money free again. Look at this from Ron Paul. Make money free again.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly report. Make money free again. 2 days after Donald Trump became the first American since Grover Cleveland to win non-consecutive presidential elections, the Federal Reserve announced a 0.25% cut in interest rates. Following this announcement, the Fed Chairman Jerome Powell held a press conference where he said that he would not comply with any presidential request that he step down before his term ends in May of 2026.
I'm not leaving.
Powell claimed that the president lacks the legal authority to fire the Fed chairman. So, if President Trump tells Chairman Powell, "You're fired," Powell could bring suit asking a court to review Trump's action. President Trump and Chairman Powell are at odds over President Trump's desire to require the Federal Reserve to consult with the president before changing interest rates or taking other significant actions. Powell is likely to do all he can to convince Congress to reject any legislation giving the president any type of official role in setting monetary policy. After all, Chairman Powell is so protective of Fed autonomy that he opposes auditing the Fed on the grounds that it would threaten the Fed's independence, even though there is nothing in the Audit the Fed legislation giving the president or Congress any new authority over the Fed's conduct of monetary policy.
Does that not concern you that they're afraid at the Fed to be audited? That's a big concern, guys.
Requiring the Fed to consult with the president regarding monetary policy would likely increase price inflation and dollar devaluation. Politicians usually like low interest rates because they associate low rates with economic growth. Politicians also want the Fed to keep rates low so the federal government can keep racking up huge amounts of debt. Without a central bank that is ready, willing, and able to monetize the federal debt, the welfare warfare state would not exist. Despite the claims of Chairman Powell and other central bank apologists, the Fed has never been free of political pressure. Presidents were trying to influence the Federal Reserve long before Donald Trump began posting mean tweets about Jerome Powell. Requiring the Fed to consult with the president would at least make the president's effort to influence monetary policy open and transparent. President Trump and other Fed critics, such as Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, think they are more capable of determining the correct interest rates than the Fed. This ignores the fact that interest rates are the price of money, and like all prices, are shaped by a variety of constantly changing factors. When the Fed manipulates interest rates, it distorts the signals sent to investors. The result is the boom-bust business cycle. The fiat system is also responsible for rising income inequality and the decline of the dollar's purchasing power, which has lowered most Americans' standard of living. President Trump should work to eliminate the need for the Fed to keep interest rates low. He can do this by fighting for massive spending cuts, starting with the military-industrial complex. He should also push Congress to pass the Audit the Fed bill. Additionally, President Trump should support legalizing all competing currencies. The forthcoming tax bill should include a provision exempting precious metals and cryptocurrencies from capital gains taxes.
Yes.
The key to making America great again is to make money free again.
No capital gains tax. Yes, absolutely. I second that. Y'all want some capital gains tax, or y'all want that gone? Imagine Berkshire, Apple, and Microsoft all buying at the same time, which is coming, guys. This is coming.
So the Omega candle will simply just appear because it'll happen all at once. Like we're talking about earlier, many people will not understand Bitcoin, but they will try to copy their neighbor because they don't want to be left out. Or you can call it FOMO if you want. But this, imagine Berkshire Hathaway, Apple, Microsoft all buying at the same time. Well, MicroStrategy is trying to spend $42 billion on Bitcoin. while the US is trying to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin over a 4-year period, while public mining companies stop selling Bitcoin they mine because they can also run a MicroStrategy playbook and borrow.
While hodlers don't sell.
While hodlers don't sell.
Do you see what's happening, guys? I love it. I love it. Let's go have a look at the Bitcoin dominance. See what's happening over there. Now, I told you guys we were probably going to see a bounce in the Bitcoin dominance. I said that the day before yesterday. And look, we have had a bit of a bounce here, a little bit of a dead cat bounce on the dominance. Not that big of a deal, guys, because Bitcoin continues to go up. That's why we're seeing a little bit of a correction in Bitcoin today. Not much. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a correction. The candle is still, that's a little red so far. But this dominance could go down by tomorrow. But I did tell you guys a couple days ago, we may see a little bit of a bounce in the Bitcoin dominance. So we're going to see that bounce, and then probably further downside. We're back up at 60.0, 60.10. So that'll crash though, guys. It'll crash. No problem. We'll just keep an eye on it, right? We'll keep an eye on it. Just in, not owning Bitcoin is going to become a liability, says NYDIG. There is no excuse for investors to avoid Bitcoin after the Trump victory. Guys, do you see the shilling that's happening from Berkshire, NYDIG, BlackRock, so on and so forth, guys? They're starting to shill Forbes, Bloomberg. I read articles this morning from Bloomberg on the morning stream, right? They're all shilling Bitcoin and crypto all of a sudden. Why do you think that is? Because they have spent the last 2 years filling their bags, and now they're ready for liftoff. They see it's lifting off, so now they're telling retail to start buying. And you want to know how I know that that's the case? You want to know how I know that that's the case? That they're shilling it? Look at this. In the last week, the search term buy crypto on Google is up massively. Look at this run up in the last week on the search term buy crypto. Huge spike, right? Because the institutions are now shilling crypto. They're telling retail, this is crypto, this is retail coming back into crypto. That's what this is. The wave is coming, guys. It's starting, right? So, like I try to tell you. All right. What else do we got? Let's get into an article. Election cycle pattern hints at big gains for altcoins in the coming days. According to an analysis by crypto analyst Tracer, the altcoin market cap demonstrates reoccurring post-election surges that have historically led to new all-time highs within 19 days. As seen in the previous election cycles, altcoins experience upward momentum in the weeks following elections. This trend suggests that altcoin prices could rise sharply within the next 10 days, with many traders watching closely for potential gains. The chart reveals distinct red and green zones representing pre- and post-election periods, respectively. Each election marked by a dashed blue line introduced a new cycle in the altcoin market. Notably, in past cycles, altcoin prices have spiked dramatically in the green zones immediately following elections. Within 19 days, these surges have reached all-time high levels before eventually declining. As of now, only 9 days have passed since the most recent election, and the market cap is already showing signs of a positive trend. The current cycle reflects similar post-election behavior, with early signs of an upward momentum. Historically, the altcoin market cap has consistently risen within days of election cycles, hitting all-time highs before retreating. This time, while the market cap hasn't yet reached its peak, a dotted line in the chart projects an upward trajectory. If this trend holds, altcoins may soon see substantial price increases, potentially driving the market cap beyond previous highs. Additionally, each prior cycle featured a 19-day period of accelerated growth following the election. This consistent pattern underlined the influence of election events on the altcoin market, suggesting that these surges are not random. Traders closely monitor the current cycle, anticipate a similar movement within the next 10 days, potentially offering profitable opportunities. With only 9 days into the green zone, analysts see a promising outlook for altcoins. Tracer emphasizes that based on previous trends, altcoins could reach new all-time highs within a week. Moreover, seasoned traders and new investors alike are eyeing key altcoins expected to perform well. If this pattern repeats, consequently, they anticipate significant gains for those who invest strategically in these coins. Could we see new all-time highs start to smash through on altcoins coming up in the next 10 days? Let me know what you guys think about that. Michael Saylor, we think that Bitcoin could become the next strategic asset reserve.
Take on Trump's victory. And now let's find out what wealthy investors think with Barbara Goodstein, managing partner at R360, an ultra-wealthy community for centimillionaires. Barbara, good morning. Great to have you here. So last time you were here, you wore red. You said it was by accident. This time you said it was on purpose. So is that a sign of what these centimillionaires think about this election?
Well, that is a sign that Trump won the election, and we think that there is a lot of big news coming. We had our market opportunities and risks meeting last week, and there's a lot of upside from this win.
All right, so these investors are excited about the win and obviously what it means going forward. One thing you say they're excited about is Bitcoin. So I mentioned to one of our earlier guests that BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, it now has more assets under management than their gold ETF. Of course, we know gold is a safe haven. I know a lot of your investors, they hold gold as well. What's their sentiment when it comes to Bitcoin? And are they doing it directly or through ETF?
We're very high on Bitcoin, and we've been talking about Bitcoin for the past few years. We recommend doing it directly because you don't pay taxes if you're doing it directly, so that's a big difference. But we think that Bitcoin could become the next strategic reserve asset. So the country now holds 232,000 Bitcoin. We think that Trump could bump that up to over 1 million.
Whew. Oh, baby. Hope you guys are ready. Look at MicroStrategy, guys. This is why, these big tech companies are going to start doing the same thing. MicroStrategy stock. Look at this, guys. Look at this today. It's now $329 and 0.599. Absolutely crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. What else do we got? El Salvador's president says, "I told you so," after Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. Well played, sir. Well played. You want to know what's even more bullish than that, guys? Boom. $2 billion in USDT minted at the Tether Treasury today. Yes, another $2 billion is coming into crypto. Are you awake yet? Are you paying attention? Bloomberg TV, BlackRock, the world's biggest asset manager, is leaning into the stock market's post-election rally by investing $2 billion.
I guess a lot of this is that there is no more of an uncertainty discount. That's evaporated now that we have an election outcome. But what really caught my interest was this idea that they don't need to or want to fuss around with tactical sector bets. They're just saying, go all in.
Just go all in and buy. I thought that Michael Gates, the lead portfolio manager for BlackRock's target allocation ETF model, said this very poetically. He said, the uncertainty discount embedded in market prices should begin to thaw as the election uncertainty is kind of priced out of the market now. He said that companies that were, maybe not deploying capital are now going to be, now that we know who the president is going to be. So they're adding more to equities. And Katie had written about how just in September, BlackRock's models had dialed back the equity exposure and they bought more bonds. They bought IUSB, which is a core bond portfolio, and they actually sold IUSB for this current bout of model tweaking.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And of course, the large reason why we care about models and the movements that they're making is because it's interesting, but you also think about the size of these model portfolios. Just small tweaks, small adjustments can cause big flows, as we're seeing in this week's data.
Yeah, we saw this is a record flow into the Momentum ETF, which you guys had just shown on the chart, $1.9 billion, and then $1 billion out of that core bond fund. The Momentum fund was interesting. The top holdings, NVIDIA, which you would expect, but then JP Morgan was the second largest holding.
Well,
I
the
guess that's
banks-
a momentum stock.
Yeah, the banks have been hitting all-time highs in this wacky post-election world.
Consolidation, M&A, all of that is coming for us.
Yeah.
I also want to ask you about BlackRock and its plans to launch 2 money market ETFs. This was something that Texas Capital Group had started, but it looks like BlackRock sees a trend here.
They're getting in on this. And I was actually looking at how many assets the Texas Capital Fund has already amassed. It's at about 46 million. It's
not bad.
Which is not bad for just 2 months of trading. And it's from, a smaller ETF issuer. So maybe BlackRock is noticing a trend here and trying to get ahead because they obviously take in a lot of flows.
Yeah, interesting timing though, because even though you are seeing that that love for that new ETF from Texas Capital, I hear the Fed has cut rates 75 basis points already, so maybe they top ticked it.
But we're still seeing all-time highs in money market funds.
That's the thing,
Fresh
right?
record highs just on Friday.
All that money that's supposed to be unlocked and get to work, none of it has really left.
Yeah.
People are scared, I guess. They just want that stable.
They like the stable
money
income.
market.
Yeah.
BlackRock is
fund, I
throwing
guess?
their
There you
weight
go.
around, guys. Big things. All right, what else do we got? We got a couple more videos to get to. Oh, let's look at this, guys. I wanted to show you something. Jim Cramer last year. Bitcoin is up 371% since Jim Cramer said this on national television.
Please don't assume, therefore, that it's not still being manipulated. And I would sell my Bitcoin right into this rally. And believe me, I had been a believer one time in Bitcoin. Not here, not now. Please.
Since then, it's rallied 371%. Good call, brother. Good call. Inverse Cramer in full effect. All right, what else do we got? Bloomberg TV. Matthew Shea, National Retail Federation President and CEO, says tariffs proposed by the President-elect Donald Trump could cost Americans $80 billion.
Your research has found that American consumers could lose between $46 and $78 billion if these new tariffs on imports to the U.S. are implemented. And just set the scene for us. What industries would be hit hardest potentially?
Well, Katie, it's nice to be with you. The study that you referenced is one that we released just last week, and it was a very limited study. It looked at 6 categories of goods that you would find in virtually every household in America, footwear and apparel and household appliances and a number of others, just to give a sense of what would happen even on that limited set of imported goods.
This guy looks like he's turning into a werewolf, doesn't he? Is it just me?
And the findings were very, very dramatic, as you would expect, because we import many of those from countries outside the United States. And our estimates were that these prices would increase sufficiently that customers would lose up to $80 billion of annual spending power. There have been other studies out there that this would cost between $2,500 and as much as $7,000 per household per year. So very, very significant consequences if the president-elect goes through with the kinds of things he said about increasing a mandatory tariff on all imported goods 10%, raising imported goods on China tariffs as much as 60%.
Right.
So really dramatic consequences for American households.
And you think about the CEOs of a lot of these companies, a lot of them were around in 2016, in 2018. Is there a roadmap that some of these affected industries, the C-suite, has for this potential tariff wave?
Yeah, Katie, I think one thing we have to remember is that this is a dynamic environment already, and it's been a very dynamic environment for the last decade. So as the economy in China has evolved over the last 15 to 25 years, their consumers have moved into the middle class, labor costs have increased. Retailers and other importers were already working dramatically to move their supply chains out of China because of increased labor costs and find other markets to produce those goods for import into other countries like the U.S. So retailers and other importers have not been standing still. That was a process ongoing even before the 2018 round of tariffs imposed by the last Trump administration. The Biden administration not only didn't reduce any of those tariffs in the last 4 years, they increased tariffs on almost 20 categories of goods. So this is something we're all dealing with. You add in the pandemic, supply chain, inflation, very dynamic environment. Retailers are always looking for ways to diversify their supply chain and bring better value to customers.
Matthew, I have less than a minute left with you here, but I'm curious about what recent history tells us about how these tariffs typically trickle through to the U.S. consumer. You think about importers paying these higher prices. Do they typically pass them on?
Absolutely. I mean, a tariff is a tax on the importer, which get passed on to the end users, the consumers, or the price of the input good that's being produced here in the United States. So we know in this environment with high inflation, with consumers focused on value and price, retailers and others won't have any choice but to pass on those cost increases and raise prices. That's going to be inflationary. Right. It's going to be regressive. It's going to hurt families making under $50,000 a year. It'll make us less competitive, and it'll slow our economy's growth.
Wrong. What else do we got going on, guys? What else? We got quite a bit, guys. We still got quite a bit. This just in, President-elect Trump to appoint a pro-crypto candidate members to fulfill his promise of making U.S. the crypto capital of the planet. Trump is following through on all of his promises, guys, that he has been making. And I went outside and took a picture of my house because you guys wanted to see what my house looked like. So check it out. Boom! There you go, guys. There you go. My house is destroyed. Oh, got to show you this too. Get in, loser. We're going to 100 trillion. I love these memes, man. I love these memes. What else do we got? We got a couple more videos to get through. All right. Mr. Pompliano. Bitcoin is the king of Wall Street. Loves to put money with the king.
Okay, gang, look at it. Look at it right now on the screen. Most of the cryptos that we follow are going nuts, and certainly the ones that are on the screen. We've got Bitcoin up 13.8%, and yes, above 87,000. Ether is gaining 14% to 3367. Litecoin up 9% to 78 bucks, and we've got XRP up 14% to 63 cents. Now, since Donald Trump's win became official last Wednesday, the world's largest cryptocurrency has risen more than 25%. Bitcoin, I mean, it's just all spreading. There's a huge blast zone here. Bitcoin miners also seeing double-digit gains. Look at MicroStrategy, Hut 8 Corp, CleanSpark, Riot. All of these are having incredible gains, but Hut is up 24%, MicroStrategy up 26%, and CleanSpark up 28%. So as the president-elect gears up to take the White House in January, and remember, he had promised to be the first Bitcoin president, is this the beginning of the crypto real boom? Like, now we're into the second inning, and everything before then was maybe just the first inning. Joining me now, first on Fox Business, is Pomp Investments investor Anthony Pompliano. And by the way, he also served as a sergeant in the U.S. Army Infantry. Thank you so much for your service, Anthony. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you saw it clock over 80. Well, forget 87,000. Last week it was 77,000. It goes 78, 79, 80, 82, 84, 86, and then just in the past hour and a half, 87,000.
88, 89.
Is it all the Trump trade?
Bitcoin is the king of the cryptocurrency market, and I think Wall Street realizes they want to put their money with the king. And if you look at 80,000 is a really important number. One, it's a big round number. A lot of people just say, hey, that big round number means that I should pay attention. Two is it caught the attention of the mainstream media. It's the front page of every single outlet. But the third thing, probably the most important thing, is crossing 80,000 was actually the new all-time high in inflation-adjusted terms. And so it was 69,000 in nominal terms, but $69,000 in 2021 is actually 80,000 today. And so now that we've broken through an inflation-adjusted all-time high, everyone is rushing in to buy this. Now, what's interesting is the ETFs provide a whole new pool of capital to start to buy Bitcoin that wasn't here in 2021.
Yeah.
And so if you go back and look at 2020, we saw.
By the way, they had huge inflows. Maybe we can put some of these Bitcoin ETFs, spot Bitcoin ETFs up.
It's incredible. In 2020, Bitcoin went from 15,000 in November of 2020 to 64,000 by March of 2021. 5 months, you had this massive appreciation. Right now, we are seeing Bitcoin, it's out of the sideways summer, hibernation is over, and up we go. And so my expectation is we're going to see a very strong bid for Bitcoin through the end of the year.
Okay, you said Bitcoin is the king. Kings are overthrown, kings fall, kings die, princes take over. Do you foresee that? I mean, how do you protect yourself if you are all in on Bitcoin against the possibly inevitable?
Yeah. I don't think this king is going to die. The beauty of this is most kings are centralized. They're a single person, they're a single organization, and they can get overthrown. But the beauty of Bitcoin is that it's decentralized. And so in a weird way, it is rules without rulers. It's basically this decentralized system that doesn't have any one single fail point. And then on top of that, if people want to diversify, one of the areas they can look to is a lot of these crypto equities. You mentioned Hut 8. I'm a shareholder there. There's a company, DeFi Technologies in Canada. There's plenty like MicroStrategies and others. These things are all moving with kind of this crypto trade. So as the assets go up, these equities will go up significantly too.
Let's say somebody's looking and say, I don't have $87,000. I don't even have half that to buy a Bitcoin. Are there better options in the equity world that is that are attached to that, like some that you just mentioned?
I think that people have to ask themselves, do I want the actual asset? Do I want Bitcoin or do I want equity exposure? In both of those cases, now there's enough technology out there. You can go and you don't have to buy a full share.
Well, like
stock.
Coinbase. Let's look at some of these equities here.
Yep.
Coinbase is up 21% right now. It's hitting, could be an all-time high, $334 right now. It has had a killer year. Past 52 weeks, it is gaining, this is unbelievable, 191%.
Yeah.
And this was when Gary Gensler, who is still head of the SEC, filed a lawsuit against them.
Bitcoin's up 130% over the last year. Coinbase is up 191%. You can go and there's some stocks that year to date that are related to crypto are up more than 150, 190%. And so what people are realizing is these assets are valuable. And now Wall Street's here. One of the most important aspects of this industry is that it was a bottoms up adoption story. It was individuals first. Wall Street couldn't do it. And if you even look today, right, Bitcoin was skyrocketing over the weekend and Wall Street couldn't participate. The stock market was closed. It is 2024. Open the stock market. Let them trade 24/7. The hours of operation. Hours of operation is insane. So why do you see this massive surge of capital coming to the market today? Well, because the crypto people, the Bitcoin people, we were having a party all weekend, and now here comes Wall Street and they say, "Oh, my ETF is mispriced because the underlying has run so much." And so now people try to catch up. They panic and they put a bunch of capital.
But chasing an asset, isn't that a little dangerous here?
Bitcoin is very volatile. It goes up, it goes down.
So people should gird for that. They should be ready for a bit of a wild ride.
I definitely think that if you go back and you look at bull markets, you can see that in 2017, as an example, Bitcoin went up 20x in a single year, but it had like 6 or 7 different 30+% drawdowns. And so anytime you have an asset that's going to go up a lot, you will get these drawdowns, but over a long period of time, Bitcoin's done pretty well.
Anthony, you are a friend as well as a guest on this show. And I do want to say that your book, How to Live an Extraordinary Life, these are letters that he wrote and is still writing, I would imagine, to his 2 young children. They're life-changing. I really hope that you guys read this. It's an incredible.
He may be a pain in the butt, but he does make sense from time to time. Let's check this out. FTX sues Binance and CZ for $1.8 billion over alleged fraudulent transfers. The FTX bankruptcy estate has filed a lawsuit against Binance and former CEO CZ for $1.8 billion in assets allegedly transferred from the now defunct exchange. The lawsuit is a continuous effort to recover its funds after its collapse and claims that CZ was responsible for FTX's losses. According to the complaint, the FTX estate, the co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX initiated a share repurchase agreement with Binance in July of 2021, where it was claiming to have bought 20% of FTX International, as well as 18.4% of its US. Sam Bankman allegedly used tokens owned by FTX exchange, including FTT, BNB, and Binance BUSD. When these assets were being purchased, these assets were worth $1.76 billion. The FTX estate contends that by early 2021, Alameda Research and FTX were both bankrupt, so the repurchase contract was fraudulent. The lawsuit seeks to void the transaction, asserting it should never have happened, claiming its effects have a negative impact on FTX and its creditors. In attempting to recover funds transferred to Binance, the company aims to maximize recoveries for paying its creditors, who are still waiting for the end of the bankruptcy proceedings. Besides these accusations of fraudulent transfers, the FTX estate argues that CZ led the purported campaign to destroy FTX, stating that such actions were meant to destabilize the market of the competing exchange FTX. The submission cites occurrences in November of 2022 where CZ announced the intention to sell off FTT tokens that caused individuals to withdraw large amounts of assets from FTX, causing a liquidation crisis in the company. So really quick, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you weren't here for that, guys, at the time, CZ had a look at the books over at FTX. He said, you know what? We're selling off all of our FTT tokens because they didn't like what they saw under the hood, right? So CZ let everybody know in terms of retail investors what he was doing, which caused everyone to panic and sell. Now, I'm sorry, but if your exchange is not doing anything wrong and you're perfectly solvent, you should be fine with that, right? It's not CZ's fault that he saw that you guys were not solvent and decided to sell his tokens before they lost money like everybody else did. That's not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. I'm sorry, that's not. He warned a lot of people. CZ saved a lot of people from losing money based on the fraudulent actions that FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried were committing at that time. FTX further argues that CZ's statements about intending to sell off FTT did not prioritize minimizing the market impact, as he claimed, but instead aimed to inflict maximum harm on FTX. Additionally, the FTX estate claims that Zhao's declaration to acquire FTX amid its liquidity challenges were merely a strategy to prevent FTX from securing alternative financing, ultimately worsening the financial condition. That's business. That's business. He didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry. In my opinion, that's business, man. Right? He doesn't have to try to minimize damage to his direct competitor's company. He doesn't have to do that. You can't sue him for allowing your company to go under, right? It's not his fault. He didn't do he wasn't giving away customer funds. You were, right? The lawsuit is one of many filed by FTX bankruptcy estate in what seems to be an effort to recover losses that they incurred by various bankrupt companies, mismanagement, and fraudulent transactions. In other filings, FTX's estate made an effort to reclaim over $100 million from Skybridge Capital and its founder, Anthony Scaramucci, regarding sponsorship and investment deals funded by Bankman-Fried. Additionally, the estate has advanced claims of various sorts against other cryptocurrency companies. Wow. Cope harder, dude. Cope harder. Right. What else do we got here? Let's check out this video from ARK Invest Kathy Wood. Okay. She is talking about, she predicts Trump's policies will turbocharge the U.S. economy more than Reagan Revolution. Before we get into that, we have a super chat from Pop Tart Eater. When will JASMY break 4 cents? Yes, I want you to look at it. I got you, brother. I got you. I'll go look at I got JASMY's chart up right now. I always have JASMY's chart up, brother. Always. Boom. So we're just kind of, having a bit of a correction with Bitcoin here, which isn't a surprise. I told you guys I was coming over last night and this morning. I said it was going to come. But listen, to get back to 4 cents, it's going to take probably a couple of weeks. It depends on how fast the altcoins start to run. But I mean, listen, we did run from 1 cent 6 all the way up to 2 cents. 2 cents? And we topped at 2 cents 4.73. So I mean, it's probably going to. I could see it happening by the end of the month. I could see it happening by the end of the month, brother. That's definitely something I could see happen. Maybe higher than that, right? We could break into a little bit of price discovery by then. But I would place my bet somewhere near the end of the month if the market continues at its current trajectory. That's what I would say. So yeah, that's where I would target, man. Right. 1 second here. Yes, so target the end of the month, and you should be fine with that. Could be higher though, guys. Like the altcoin market could really start to go nuts here. Don't get me wrong. I literally just went through an article that said that it was expecting everything to start going nuts in about 10 days, right? So hold on to your butts is what I would say. All right. Back over to this Cathie Wood. Boom. All right, so Cathie Wood predicts Trump's policies will turbocharge the U.S. economy.
Meanwhile, ARK Invest is known for capitalizing on innovative companies despite the risk of volatility that could come with it in some regard. The firm is out with its annual report. It's called Big Ideas for 2024, Disrupting the Norm, Defining the Future. And joining me right now is the CEO and CIO of ARK Invest, Cathie Wood, back with us. Cathie, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining me.
Great to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and you've stuck with this theme throughout, even as we saw lots of rough trading there for some of those tech names. One of your key themes in this report is artificial intelligence. AI, you say, is speeding up global equity market value associated with disruptive innovation and could increase from 16% to more than 60% by 2030. Tell me more about that. What do you mean by AI going to 60% of what? Equity market value?
Yes. We think that it is going to be the catalyst that speeds up all other innovation. We're seeing a convergence between and among technologies, with AI being the prime mover here. And yes, you're right. We've been talking about this for a very long time, ever since I founded ARK in 2014. But I think the iPhone moment, so to speak, was ChatGPT, and now investors and consumers actually get it. The changes here are profound because training costs and inference costs are dropping 70 to 85% per year. And what used to be $500 million to train a model like GPT-3 in 2015 now is down to just $100,000. So the barriers to entry are collapsing, the barriers to entry in terms of innovation, and we're getting a lot more of it.
So tell me about that. If you're going to look at AI being 60% of equity value, then you're talking about lots of traditional companies taking on artificial intelligence, using it to grow their business. Are there areas of corporate America that you think people are missing in terms of AI usage?
Yes, I think many investors are using NVIDIA as their AI proxy, and it's a good one to be sure. But now that everyone's using it, the expectations have become very high for that company and that stock. And they may deliver, but it is no longer meeting our 5-year minimum hurdle rate of return. We are looking at companies that meet 4 criteria when it comes to AI. They have deep domain expertise, and in healthcare, sequencing technologies converging with AI are going to really unlock the secrets of life and death. So we think there are big surprises coming in the healthcare space that will result in cures for disease. So that's so deep domain expertise, AI expertise. Take this seriously. It is going to separate the winners from the losers in terms of corporations and startups. Distribution, global, either through partnerships or outright. And then most important is proprietary data that no one else has. And we often say that Tesla is the biggest AI project in the world today, that robo-taxis or autonomous taxi platforms are the biggest revenue opportunity during the next 5 to 10 years. Many people think this is pie in the sky, but there are 20 projects already in place, autonomous driving projects, 7 of which are commercial. And China has a disproportionate a number of them right now. This is going to happen. It is happening. And we think the platform opportunity is $4 to $5 trillion in revenue in the next 5 to 10 years. And it's going to be winner take most. The company that gets people the quickest and the safest from point A to point B is going to get the lion's share of the market.
I love it. And I love what you're saying about healthcare, because that is really so impactful, not just for investors, but obviously for all of us for healthcare. But Tesla, obviously an incredibly important company for you, for your portfolio. Do you believe that a Tesla can be hacked?
Oh, good
it's
question.
interesting. The hackings that have been reported were actually exposed. The perpetrators were exposed. I think what people don't understand about a Tesla vehicle, if that's what we're calling it, a robot is really more what it's going to be, is that Tesla can see everything and diagnose any problem that's evolving. For example, I bought my first Tesla Model 3 in 2018. I have never taken it in for maintenance, never, except for a nail in the car. Yes, software, over-the-air software updates, they diagnose problems before I see them. And so, I've never had a problem. And I think people don't understand that.
That is amazing.
So you're saying, yeah, sure, there were hacking incidents, but those people were identified and brought to justice, and you're not worried about a Tesla car getting hacked?
I am not worried, but I am happy that Elon is on guard. If anyone is concerned about the impact of AI, Elon is. And half of the solution to a problem is understanding it in the first place. So I think he's very well aware of what can go wrong.
Yeah, and he was great on the risks of AI for sure. Kathy, NVIDIA is reporting next week, and we've seen this stock and how the valuation has just skyrocketed on all the reasons that you're talking about. The target prices on Wall Street go all the way up to like $1,200, $1,300 on NVIDIA. Would you put new money to work in this stock today before the earnings report next week?
No, we as you can see, we post our trades at the end of every day. We're still taking profits in our more specialized accounts. Yes, this is a very much momentum stock. The comparison against last year is very easy, so it's probably going to be a good report. But again, I think people know this, and our minimum hurdle rate of return for a stock to be in our portfolio is 15% at a compound annual rate over 5 years. Tesla does not meet that target, and we are very aggressive on our AI assumptions. We probably are more aggressive than most research teams out there. So no, we would not. We think there are many other opportunities. For every dollar of hardware in AI, $5 of software will pull through. So we're much more optimistic about companies like Palantir and UiPath and other software companies and other companies who are using their proprietary data to create new products and services than we would be NVIDIA right now. But all praises to NVIDIA. It has created some of the biggest breakthroughs to enable artificial intelligence.
Kathy, your report also finds Bitcoin playing a role in growing investors' portfolio. Over the past 7 years, Bitcoin's annualized return averaging about 44% compared to other major assets, where the return has averaged just about 6%. So obviously, you're also, and have been talking about Bitcoin for a while, but I guess my question really revolves around the macro story, because the macro story and the inflation story will have to be just right in order for the backdrop to match some of these expectations of growth that you have, Kathy. And you were talking about inflation coming all the way down, but we still see inflation elevated, and there are worries that inflation stays higher. So what's your take on the Fed, Kathy? Do you still think we're going to see rate cuts from the Federal Reserve this year?
We do. And just on Bitcoin, talk about a big idea. It's a new asset class and a new monetary system. And it is a risk-on asset, yes, but it is also a risk-off asset. It was up 40% as regional banks were imploding last March. Why? because there's no counterparty risk in this decentralized, transparent ecosystem. It is also a hedge against both inflation and deflation. It's going to be in scarce supply, 21 million units. We're already at over 19.5 million units. So that's the scarcity. Prices should move up as institutions move in now that the SEC has given it a green light. But it's also a hedge against deflation and counterparty risk. So again, it's a big idea. And we think the bigger risk out there is deflation, not inflation. I think the ramifications of a 24-fold interest rate hike by
Bigger
the
risk.
Fed over roughly.
The bigger risk now is not owning any crypto at all. That's the big risk now. All right, so what do we got? Let's go over to the Bitcoin chart, and then I'll pull up the chat, and let's see what everybody's talking about. Get to the top of the chat here. All right, so what do we got? Jetpack in the house, my man. What's up, buddy? Holmes, what's up, buddy? Paul B in the house. When Jasmy. Guys, make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe to the channel. Helps us grow, means a lot. Help push us up to the moon in terms of subscribers. Let's moonshot the channel, guys. Let's moonshot the channel. Big Kev in the house. Hey, does anyone know if we're going to have a bull run? I think it's canceled, Kev. Bull run's canceled. We're going home. See this little red candle here? That means the bull run's canceled. I mess with you, brother. I mess with you. Haas in the house. Funky's in the house. What's up, man? When Jasmy. D. Wellwood, the pump keeps pumping. Yes. Bitcoin is continuing to Bitcoin. Jasmy will be, after BTC stops running, we're going to be going 10x to catch up. Yes, the springs are loaded. Exactly. Thank you. I always appreciate yours and Rob's. Paul, I do not give financial advice, my friend. I give you education. I give you the news. I give you the updates, and you do with that what you will. But I appreciate the sentiment, brother. Dominic's in the house. What's up, buddy? BTC 90K by the end of the week. I could dig that, man. 90K tomorrow. That would be good. Again, Paul, I do not give financial advice. Funky says, Paul B, no advice from me, just opinion. I just work this all the time. I've convinced Rob's path is the way. The time to sell will come. Yes. Dumb Money in the house. What's up, man? I think it's safe to say liftoff has begun. Oh, yeah. 90K. All I do is play emulations and crypto. Nice. Soon we'll be able to afford to go places, not just play places. Yes. Jasmy guy, XLM about to make a move. Is it? Nice. I am a big fan of XLM for sure. Boomer's in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Roger D. Dodger. All good, bro. Can hear you. Oh, yes. My microphone was I was wondering about my microphone. Jasmy about to explode. Afternoon, man. Volks. Afternoon, man. Afternoon. Where's the Jasmy beard? The wife made me shave it, brother. The wife made me shave it. Kenley in the house. Magic Power. Always good to see you, Magic Power. Welcome in, my friend. GT. Hey, Rob, can you explain the pi cycle top chart? I tried having ChatGPT explain it. I didn't quite grasp what it was telling me. What I can do, GT, is I can do a separate video about it. I don't want to really go into it in the middle of a chat, but I can make a separate video if that suits your fancy. I can do that for you, and we can break it down. Dominic, brother, this is what I look. This is what I look to on my nights. Nice, perfect live. Dominic, it's awesome. I look forward to having you here, brother. I look forward to having you here, man. Big Kev, look at AIOZ, 25%. Let's go, baby. Chris, hold steady. We're getting close to pure insanity. I have all my eggs in Jasmy. I always recommend diversification, my friend, but I'm sure you will be fine, with your choice. Jasmy, we trust, David. Absolutely. Venom's in the house. So glad Jasmy was my side piece last 3 years. I kept giving her money. John, I gave you a shout out at the beginning of the stream, brother. Crow Nation. Yes, Crow is up It was up 70%. Crazy, man. Crazy. Lord of the Realm in the house. Good evening, everyone. Our patience has paid off. We're at the beginning of the parabolic run. Yes. Jas is in the house from Vietnam. Good to see you again, brother. Good to see you again. Dumb Money, now they are finally nice things to say. Yes. CNN is, I agree. I agree. James, what's up, buddy? Just bought a bag of Swift. Not a bad idea, brother. Not a bad idea. Tony says, inbound super cycle in crypto, JASMY to $17 per coin. You heard it from me first. Tony, I tip my hat to you, my brother. I hope you are correct. XCN and Swift, love them both, man. Love them both. Shay Boy, what's up, man? Long time no see. Now that things are picking up, the Wolf of Wall Street scene, the only regret you'll have is that you didn't buy more. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Tony, with all this, aren't you all sad that Kamala Harris lost? Boo. WF Capital, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Joe Vaughn, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Nice little road trip action. Jerome in the house. Jetpack, Death Bank in the house. What's going on, man? Volks, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Rod, what's going on, fam? I didn't have a clue how big this would be. I guess this is how millionaires are made. Yes. And people who never seen it before, they don't really get it. You have to experience this thing in real time, and then you kind of get it. And that's what I've been kind of saying the whole year, right? Liquidity, let's grow. Let's go. All this, and we're really just getting started. Exactly. Funky, I've been consolidating past 4 years. This is my payday bull run. I've only kept what I needed. This time I will splurge. Great plan, brother. Great plan. JASMY, buy sand, wait. Don't wait and buy. Exactly. XRP's fire. Yes, it is. Facts. Oh, talking about Pomp. Yeah, I know, man. He can be a pain in the butt. I feel you, man. Bruno, man, it's so exciting to finally see the light. I can't wait for these next 6 months. Exactly. Exactly, man. Dumb Money, 4 cents by the end of the month. That's fine with me. DK Knight, JASMY performance is a joke now. Holy cow. Really regretting it. Sell and short. See how that works out, brother. Sell and short. See what happens. Not financial advice. Nell T, always looking forward to your live streams. Thanks for all that you do. Nell, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. I love that you look forward to these streams. It really is a humbling thing to know. All right, guys, that's the news. That's the chat. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to watch some TV, throw on a movie or something, watch some WWE Raw is War, maybe, right? A little bit of that. And I will see you guys for tomorrow. Listen, be here every day, guys, 1 p.m. Central for the afternoon live stream, 8 p.m. Central for the evening live stream, 7 days a week. Those are our live stream times. Jump over to the Patreon, guys, because I also go live over on the Patreon. We do group Zoom calls there. So join over there. I'd love to see you guys in the group Zoom calls where we talk about compounding gains. We're talking about nodes. We're talking about passive income. We're talking about DeFi staking, taxes and tax implications, centralized and decentralized exchanges, and everything else you need to know crypto, guys. Get over there, join the conversation. We've been swing trading on meme coins over the last couple of weeks, and we have been cleaning up. So get over there. I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.